Watch this video to know the shocking details behind the decision to lock down the entire country.
आज रात 12 बजे से
According to the Government of India, the nationwide lockdown was imposed after several states and union territories had already imposed lockdowns of their own, and therefore a nationwide lockdown was necessary. Justifying the lockdown, the National Disaster Management Authority said that it was necessary to control the spread of the virus. Now there is a catch. PM Modi himself is the chairman of the NDMA. So, when the central government and PM Modi took the responsibility to control the virus, how did they prepare for it? A BBC investigation has revealed the answer to this question. Through the RTI Act, BBC approached government ministries, departments, agencies and state governments to better understand what information they had about the lockdown before it was announced by PM Modi. The answers will shock you. The BBC in its extensive investigation found that nobody had any information about the lockdown and there was no evidence to prove that the government had made any sort of preparation. The departments related to public health and economy have said on record that neither were they aware nor were they consulted before the nationwide lockdown. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare did not reply to the RTI. Their silence is their answer. Directorate General of Health Services and EMR had no prior information and were not consulted. DGHS and EMR implement health services and take responsibility for disaster management in the country. NCDC, who is responsible for infectious diseases monitoring and prevention, also had no information. ICMR told BBC that important people did not attend the COVID-19 meetings and the ill effect of lockdown could have been reduced if more time had been given to people for preparation. Even AIIMS was not able to give satisfactory evidence that they had prior information on the lockdown. The armed forces, who set up camps for people returning from abroad, said they had no such information and were not consulted and came to know about the lockdown from the media. The Labour Ministry had no information, which isn't shocking given what happened to migrant workers across the country. The Ministry of Finance had no information. Once again, not shocking given what happened to our economy. The BBC also contacted the offices of the President and Vice President of India, and you will be surprised to learn that they too had no idea. And neither did any of the state governments that were approached. So what does this tell us? None of the government departments or ministries that should have been involved in such a serious and impactful decision were consulted prior to the announcement. Integral members of the government were left in the dark and the federal structure of our nation was completely ignored. The only people who knew were PM Modi and his select group of confidants. Does this remind you of another radical decision that devastated our country and was made by a small group of people? Coronavirus has taken 1,60,726 lives and devastated the livelihoods of millions more. The unplanned lockdown made this pandemic worse, and the fact that not a single expert or ministry was consulted points to the obvious. There are 4 people running this country, and everything they do is for their own profit. Stay tuned for the second part of this investigation to know how PM Modi single-handedly destroyed the Indian economy.